Hi everybody, I'm Leslie Mouton, the Creative Media Director for the San Antonio nonprofit Morgans. If you don't know about what we do, I encourage you to visit morgans.org and find out. The Morgans family recently lost one of our athletes with Morgan Sports. His name is Corey Brooks. Now, while we are very saddened by his passing, we also celebrate his life and the many contributions he made, not only to Morgans, but to the world. So today we pay tribute to this beautiful person who may be gone, but will never be forgotten.
Well, there's a lot to say about Corey. He was born May 11th, which always ran into Mother's Day. So a lot of times his birthday was on Mother's Day. He was a special gift to me, and to our whole family. He was our third child, our youngest. We did not plan him, so he was quite the surprise, but he was a great surprise. From a very early age, he was very outgoing, very friendly. He was diagnosed at 3 with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I made an appointment with his pediatrician at the time, and I told her, something's just not right. He can't pedal a trike, he can't manipulate steps, and he was always walking on his toes. She contacted a specialist, and we did a muscle biopsy, and it came back positive with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. When she told us, my husband asked her, is he going to die? And she said yes. But it was devastating, absolutely devastating. But we became part of MDA, so we did telethon. We talked to other parents. They gave us great advice. We took that advice to treat him just like our other children, so we did. My oldest is Caleb. Caleb played soccer because my daughter, which is the middle child, she started soccer at 5, so she kind of, got Caleb interested, and of course, because both of them played, Corey was interested. So when he was 4, we signed him up for soccer, and he was walking at the time, but he wasn't walking very well. And so we told him that, eventually you're going to lose your ability to walk. But I think with him seeing others, it was easier for him to accept and to learn, what it meant to lose your ability to walk, what it was going to be like to be in a wheelchair. So we're like, you can go to college, you can have a girlfriend, you can do this, you can do that, just like everybody else, but you're going to have to do it differently. So, and he was okay with that. When he was 6 years old, he did attend MDA camp. So he did get to see kids at different ages with Duchenne. I think because he was slow and he was always falling, it was almost like being in a wheelchair was like, hey, I can go faster and I can keep up with my friends now. My kids have played soccer. He's always been on the sidelines watching them play soccer. I don't remember the year, but the Muscular Dystrophy Association had a magazine called Quest Magazine, and there was an article about power soccer. So I showed him the article and he was like, that's really cool. I wish we had that here. Well, then that summer when he went to MDA camp, they had videos. So he came home, brought the video, and was, just all about that. We got to do something. We got to do something. Well, I had no idea how to start that up. A few years later, we were at a soccer game, at a Scorpion soccer game. A gentleman approached him and asked him, do you like soccer? And he was like, I love soccer. He said, would you be interested in power soccer? And tried to explain it to him. He was like, I know what power soccer is. It was a new thing they were doing at Morgan, and it started with the clinic. Corey started in his everyday chair, and then he graduated to a P200 and just started excelling. He was just awesome. So at one of the clinics, they brought a strike force, and they'd asked him, do you want to try it? And he was like, yeah. So he got in it, and he hit the ball and scored. And they were like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. From that time, everything was power soccer, power soccer, power soccer. When they decided they had enough kids for a team, that's how Straps formed. He was the captain of the team, very close to all of them, to be on the court, in the game, not on the sidelines. It made him a more positive person, more confident in himself. In college, he always wanted to do studies involving power soccer or disabled athletes. And Corey was really, really good. He practiced hard, But when he started losing some abilities, he kind of started losing a little bit of his playing ability. Things just gradually kept progressing. He got to where he was having a hard time breathing. When he was talking, he would talk and then have to pause and talk and have to pause. So we had to put him on a ventilator. He was asleep and he started saying, like really loud, "Wow, that's awesome. Wow, that's awesome." And he just kept saying it over and over again. I think that he might be, someone's showing him, where he's gonna go. But just seeing him and his levels going down, and the nurse and my husband trying to arouse him and he wasn't coming to, it's like, we just need to stop. He's gone. He's gone. I am sad for myself, but happy for him that he doesn't have any machines hooked up to him anymore. He's not in that chair. He's not sick. I'm sure he's happy to see all his family that's passed before him, to see his friends. He's had so many friends that passed before him as well.
We did things that I would never have done before, gone to places that we'd have never gone to before.
Handsome.
Mm-hmm. Wearing his tux.
Yep.
He inspired us to do things we probably would never have done.
I think mostly he was inspirational to all that he met. His motto was always, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself because I can do anything anybody else can, just differently.
I think Corey touched a lot of lives. Everybody that he met, he basically left a footprint on, because he never met a stranger. He could talk to anybody, and he was compassionate about helping other people.
I do want to see him again. And knowing that he's in a better place, we all want to be with him eventually when we pass. So I think that makes us better people because of that.
Jada Cano joins me now to talk about the impact Corey has had on her life. Hi, Jada.
Hi, Leslie. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's very emotional to watch that story, but I know he had a really big impact on Jada's journey. So tell me about Corey and how he impacted your life.
Right. So when I first started soccer, we went to a clinic and we got to just see what soccer was. And it was such a impactful moment in my life where I knew I wanted to play, and he was somebody who was there. And we just fell in love with watching the sport. And so ever since then, I've been playing soccer.
How old were you?
I was 5 years old at the time.
Do you remember how old-ish he was?
I do not, actually.
He was a little bit older, though, right?
Yes, he was older than me.
And I know he had a passion, as we talked about in the story, for power soccer, and was so happy when Morgan's actually started it. Is this the first time you had been exposed to power soccer?
Yes, this was the first time. I always wanted to play sport, and I never could. I always saw kids on the playground playing, and I felt left out for not having that opportunity. But then once I found power soccer, I was like, oh my goodness, like I can actually play a sport and be good at it, and other people can't all just play this sport either. And so I felt a very strong connection and pull to the sport.
And I know that this isn't an individual sport. You do work individually, I'm sure, on your skills. It's a team sport. And
yes.
So you and Corey were friends and teammates.
Yes, we were teammates for a very long time. It was a group of 5, and we...
The Fab Five, I will say.
And we really just worked hard trying to develop our skill, and we didn't start out with much, but then he was very involved with the organization and the whole sport in itself, and so he really allowed our program to grow alongside the other 4 of us who really was there to support and do anything we could to make it happen.
How emotional was it when you found out he passed away?
It was really sad. I mean, in being in the disabled community, it's always sad to hear when somebody passes, but when it's somebody you know, it's completely different, especially when you've spent years playing together, and not only on the court, but on the sidelines, at practices. We practice once a week, and so I used to see him for 3 hours every week. And so it was just something that hit home. But I also knew the disease that he had. And though we're knowledgeable on it, it's always different when you hear that. It's kind of like this pause of, oh, okay, wow.
Are there moments when you have practices now where you just still expect him to kind of show up, or you look for him, or you have a moment of just missing him?
I think mainly it was at our national tournaments. Whenever we go and he wasn't there, or games, or he wasn't there trying to like tell us what to do, it was definitely a shift. But he's always been and always will be a part of our team, and we just try to get better and every day try to improve within ourselves and for the team, because that's what he always wanted for us.
So he kind of gives you that mission, or that extra reason to want to win for him.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite memory?
I do, actually. We went to a college university. I don't remember the name, but we had a practice there. He set it up for us so we could have a gym outside of our home gym and really just get that practice. And it was like a field trip for all of us because, again, I was super young at the time. And alongside Jacob, who's a similar age as I am. So we were just having a blast. And he took us around the campus, and then we went to the gym and we practiced. And we were there for, I don't know how many hours. But it was so fun just because it was somewhere he liked, and it was somewhere where we could be, you know, home outside of home. And it was just awesome to practice like that.
And one of the things in the story that I heard a lot from his family, he was inspirational. Did you find him inspirational?
Absolutely. I mean, he always pushed us to be the best that we could be, and he knew how much potential we had, even if we didn't know it at the time. But he was also just somebody who was there when you needed somebody to understand you, and you could very much voice what you were dealing with and what he was dealing with, and it was a very interactive relationship. Absolutely.
He was a very giving person too.
Yes.
Everybody says he was a very giving person, and I'm share a story with you that his parents shared with me. Even in death, he's still giving back. His chair, his parents did not want that to just go to anyone. They said, we want it to go to someone it will mean something to. And so they called the mechanic. And I'm sure you know, you have a mechanic too for your
Yes.
chair. It's a very important job. And I said, do you know anyone? They said, I do. There's a man that I know, and he's in his 30s, and he doesn't have a chair, and he doesn't have money to buy one, so he sits in a room, and he has for a long time, and he said, I just wish I could feel the sun on my face. And so they said, well, we're going to give him his power chair. And can we pop up the picture? They sent us the picture. This is Adam. And he wrote to the mechanic and said, I got to go outside and feel the sun on my face. So Corey is living on through that memory that he has, through you and your memories. Yes. And I think we just will all miss him, but we're happy for him.
Yes, I'm happy that he is doing all that he wants, and he did all that he wanted and was the person that he was meant to be.
He definitely symbolizes, just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't accomplish a heck of a lot in life.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're another one of those examples. Jada, thank you. I love hearing your stories, and we love being on your journey with you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.